What's up, YouTube? It's your boy ChasmRift here, and today we got ourselves kind of a video that's kind of like a basically I'm kind of like redoing what happened with the question of the day from my previous VGC video. I actually don't know when I'm gonna upload this, to be completely honest, but just to keep everything transparent as possible, I'm actually recording this like in full screen. I don't know if it's gonna be just the full screen or if I'm gonna like in editing shrink down my face cam and just will be somewhere up here and have the gameplay. I don't know how I'm gonna edit this, but I want this to kind of, I kind of just want to speak about something that's been on my mind, and I don't want it to come off as disingenuous. I got no script in front of me, actually. Just looking at myself, which is kind of awkward usually. There's no script. There's no like me going back and editing something out because I made a mistake. Kind of just want to speak my piece on something. And the reason for this is, in my last question of the day was about how there's gonna be another women's only tournament slash tour for Pokemon VGC, and a lot of people in the community has been very vocal about it. And I kind of made that a question of the day, and I kind of now regret that because even during the question of the day, I didn't have enough time to say all my thoughts. After the video, I was still thinking about it, and then even when I went to work the next day, or basically today for me on this recording, I was thinking about it. And I did read the responses from the comments as of right now, and I just want to make this very clear. I am not against the tournament for women to just, women and non-binary people to just, compete and have a platform to compete at, because of everything that's been happening, the speaking out movement back in 2020, and, just the fact that this world is just not perfect. And that's kind of where I want to come from. So you guys know, from anybody who actually watched me play VGC, whether it be on the stream or in the video, I like to think ahead, which is, well, important for VGC, but also like not only think ahead in life, I like to also think about the various different possibilities of what could happen. Very much like playing a VGC match. And I kind of said that like I was conflicted about everything about this whole tour, and the reason I was kind of conflicted wasn't necessarily about like black and white of if you're against it, that means you're sexist or whatever, or if you're for it, that means you're this, that, and the other. It wasn't about that really. I was thinking about it from the tense of what it could possibly lead to down the road. That being that, yes, we do need to, empower other folks. We need to uplift our own community, help out one another, as well as honestly develop other communities. I would love to see goodness come out of all this, because y'all see me in the past talk about like ways we can improve VGC, improve the community, not just VGC but other communities. The reason I said I was conflicted is because some of the things I was thinking about was, if done wrong, I think there could be negative ramifications. While it'll be great to uplift women and whatnot, what I mean by like it could go bad potentially is that the idea of having exclusive tournaments could extend out from just, we need to give a platform to women and show them that we appreciate them in the community, to we're giving everybody who is a minority who has struggled in various esports are now given their own personal platforms. In other words, for example, 2020, we saw a lot of hate crimes and racism involving African Americans. I'm black. I've seen a lot of people say many things, some racist, some, in support of black people and whatnot. I don't know if I'll feel right if we had, like a Black Power, Pokemon tour, or right now the Asian hate that's been going on in 2021. I'm pretty sure a lot of Asian people probably wouldn't want an Asian type of tournament if, in essence, we're just segregating one another. Very much like a city, like in Chicago, various communities are basically just kind of segregated into their own like culture. Right now in my neighborhood, just black people primarily. Next door, Hispanics, Latinx. Up north, white people mostly. And of course, people are gonna relate, and they're gonna resonate with people who they can identify with very well. I have a bunch of black friends that I could definitely speak a lot of things about that I probably couldn't say to my Hispanic friends and other groups. So I was coming from the idea that, like, in theory, having all these tours and being in full support of them could be negative if instead of these tours being a segue and a way to encourage people to actually go to live events, it turns into a, oh, let's have kind of like a safe space for every different community. Again, like an ideal world, because this world is not perfect. Let's be honest. It's gonna be a long time before we start to see a little bit more equality worldwide. But in the perfect world, this women's only tournament could lead to other minorities being addressed. For example, not too many people talk about how the African scene or the Middle Eastern scene are basically not given qualifications for Players Cup. People aren't talking about how there are certain regions where certain people just aren't given opportunities. Maybe we should change up how formats work, because in order for you to actually have like a Premier Challenge or a Mid-Season Showdown, which are basically like the smaller events you could go to earn points to qualify for Worlds, a lot of places, there are regions out there that can't really compete because no one really wants to volunteer to be a professor and to actually set up the events, because there is a lot that goes into it. Maybe we could talk about that and how to address those issues, and then address things like how Joe Schmo in the middle of nowhere, Kansas, is qualifying the Worlds because he has a bunch of Pokemon professors, but his local scene is just 4 other trash players that he just beat up on and qualify for Worlds. Like, there's a lot of things that could be talked about, and in the ideal world, we can actually get a lot of this resolved. That's kind of where I wanted to come from, because I'm a black man. I understand that there's a lot of issues out there. I understand there's a lot of bigotry and whatnot. I said that, like, hey, you know, CEO, that's a fighting game event that I would love to go to because it's cool. I love wrestling. I love the wrestling theme and the atmosphere, and I think going to Florida would be cool. But people on social media talked about how it's racist out there. Like, not the event itself, for the most part, for what I understand, but the people around. So basically, let's say outside the CEO, you decided to go walk to get some food, or you decided to walk to your hotel. There's a good chance that you may encounter some discrimination of some kind. Now, personally, I would be hesitant to go if I'm finding out, like, hey, you can't even go 20 feet without someone potentially calling me out my name or trying to hurt me. Of course I wouldn't want to go. So I get it, why people wouldn't want to go, and why people feel like we need to, you know, make a platform for others to, you know, compete and do their thing. It's just, I think people need to cool it when it comes to all this, because, yes, it's good to support other minorities, good to support smaller groups, but to categorize everybody who completely disagrees, is just wrong. Let's just be real. If someone disagrees on the sense that, like, hey, it's just not cool to, you know, exclude people out because, again, this could lead to long-term segregation of our communities, that's 100% valid in my eyes. It doesn't mean that they're being sexist. Sure, you can find a screenshot of someone commenting on a YouTube video, post it, and say, oh, sexism. Like, sure, there's going to be sexist people, and we don't condone it. We want them out of the communities. But just because everybody disagrees doesn't necessarily mean that they're sexist, they're misogynistic, they're racist, or whatever. Sometimes people just gotta be a little bit more open-minded, and both sides just gotta stop the BS. Let's call it what it is. I hope that makes sense. I hope y'all understand where I'm coming from. And again, I didn't feel like I had to make this video, but I feel like it's better to make this video just to get my message out there versus trying to just give a 2-minute question of the day answer and then type everything else out. I just want to convey how I truly feel about everything, because, yeah, I kind of had a chance to actually think about this more so than just sit down and spitball. Like I said, hopefully, ideal world, more people are willing to go out to events, whether they're women, whether they're non-binary, whether they're Middle Eastern, African, whatever. Hopefully we get to see a lot more inclusion in those regards. Hopefully we get to see just the overall quality of life improvement for the various esports that we all enjoy. Other than that, just let me know your opinions down below. Do I make sense? Do you disagree with me on anything? Like, personally, I don't think there's a wrong answer as long as you're not being sexist or you're not being a bigot about it. Alright, bye.